Social media platforms for hernia surgery advancement. This thing's not working, but. Push what now?
Push the green. There you go.
Okay, so my disclosure is I'm an old surgeon, and that, in fact, as you've seen, I am addicted to Facebook. Well, what is a fad? And that was what I was asked to decide, if this is a fad. A fad is an intense and widely shared enthusiasm for something, especially one that is short-lived and without basis in the object's qualities. It's a craze. The realm of a fad is essentially unknowable. History is littered with random enthusiasms that will sweep the culture, flare for a few months or years, then recede into the ocean of weird and terrible ideas. These are not my family members, but it is my favorite fad, as you can see by looking at my family members. Fads through the decades have changed. We've gone from everything from lava lamps to T-shirts to bell-bottoms, and some of those come back after many years. And as you've seen, we now have a series of fads that's amazing. We have the IHC, and when I gave Brian my Rolodex in 2012 and said, here, try these guys, I never dreamed he'd find 2,000 people to add to the Rolodex. We have SAGES, which is another social media group. We have Mini, which is another. We have Weight Loss Surgery Success. We have Surgeons Only. We have a High-Tech Surgery Club. I belong to so many social groups now that I'm actually going to have to go to my son's summer camp to detox from the social groups. Just because it's a bad idea doesn't mean it's not going to be a good time. And to me, that's what the social groups have done for me. My wife says, every morning I'm having coffee, I'm on a social group, because it's a good time. Here's one of the typical postings that Conrad made. Brian Jacob has recently questioned why wait to post information based on pending journal submissions. Why can't we just do it? Brian Jacob, here's my take. The digital world has changed the music industry, TV, movies, shopping. I believe we need both systems, science and social media. Well, what's the influence of social media? For me, it has brought back my life and made me a rock star. And as you can see, Aurora agrees. She's giving me those 2 fingers up. But rarely do we see postings in the original IHC like this, where we were looking at data. In fact, Brian Jacobs said to David Chen about Conrad, what is interesting about this post is that Conrad Balasar actually posted literature, data. I'm impressed, Brian says. More likely we get postings like this that Aurora showed, which are asking what should I do with the problem. Well, when will this fad stop being a fad? Can it stop being a fad? And I think the answer is when its participants see permanent value in it, when it doesn't harm its participants, when there aren't unintended consequences of all of these postings, and when what it says turns out to actually be validated. That's when it'll stop being a fad. But can it put peer pressure on readers to do unproven techniques, use devices that shouldn't be used, use meshes that have no validity? That is the biggest problem. Is someone posts it and then someone runs out and does that the next day without any data or evidence. Then it can cause surgeons to tackle problems which they're not adequately trained to perform because they see a beautiful YouTube video posted on the IHC or one of the other sites and it looks so simple, they rush off and say, well, I can do that, of course. The other risk of social media to me, which is the biggest risk, is who is posting all of these things? Who is vetting the posts or the posters? We have no idea who some of these people are or what their experience is. Is what they're posting really based on any data, or is it just anecdote? Does the loudest poster win the day? And I think it usually does, in my experience, and that's why I use a lot of profanity when I post. The consequences of posting can be instant and rapid, and Aurora said that's good, but that can also be very bad. Why social media shouldn't replace published vetted data. Published data is based on established standards. Published data should be, and mostly is free of bias. Published data is reviewed by multiple reviewers. When an article gets into a journal, it's not one person, it's 2 or 3 that have looked at it and vetted that article. Published data is not influenced by the emperor's clothes phenomena, and if any of you don't know that, I will tell you the fairy tale afterwards. Why social media may replace published vetted data? Well, it takes a long time to get something published. We know that many times we write an article, by the time it gets published a year and a half later, we've already changed our mind, so it's old data. Corrections and changes are not always published. I commented to Dr. Wright how nice it was for him to get up and say, no single site is no longer what I believed it to be. So many times we see something in the literature and it's not changed later. And reviewers, unfortunately, can be biased. And I've seen reviewers reject articles because it was against what they thought or was actually what they were about to publish and it didn't get published. Can social media replace published vetted data? I don't think so. It can't replace it and shouldn't replace it. Will social media go beyond being a fad? It will if we understand its limitations, which I think I've just outlined, if we use it properly and not improperly, if it continues to stimulate discussion and fact-based debate. Mentoring, great source of mentoring. Distribute peer-reviewed data to those who may not normally read the articles. Great source of getting that data out there. A forum for discussion of current and future literature and online journal clubs, which was outlined. Here's just one recent post, and these posts are getting, I think, better and better, of someone posting an actual trial and then comments going on about that trial. Andrew Wright commented. I commented back that I wish he didn't comment because he's interfering with my lecture today. But he's showing that it does have value and can have value. And I'm not up here to tell you that social media and the IHC and the rest of them should be abandoned. We just should use them as a proper tool. For me, the future of social media is more, though, and I think all of you know this, is more, it's moral support as well as medical support for our community of surgeons. The future of surgery of the social media is much more. And as some of you know, I'm going to break up in a second, but I recently posted a post about a family problem, and the support that I got within minutes and days of that was unbelievable. And I can tell you, I'm very thankful. And I want to thank all of you, especially for supporting me in my moment. And I'd just like to close and play this little video because this is what, I'm from California and Hollywood, and I want to show you of a trailer for tomorrow's debate. You want to play this, please? Tomorrow the truth will be known. We will see who wins the SSOD debate, robot versus no robot. Thank you.